Now for something completely different. But I'm only one person. What difference can I make? How many times have you heard someone say this? How many times have you said it yourself? With all of our awesome technology, we still oftentimes find ourselves feeling somewhat insignificant. Why should I vote? My vote doesn't matter. The world is run by rich megalomaniacs and there's nothing I can do. I sometimes wonder whether instilling this mantra into our heads might actually be the goal for some. We may feel helpless because we're supposed to feel helpless. Not to worry, you just sit there in your hopeless world and let the powers that be take care of you. Sadly, as we've seen time and again, they're more apt to take care of themselves, not you. What you need to do is realize that you, just you, the singular you, are the ones who have the real power. All you need to do is to find a way to use it. Back in the 1990s, along with a colleague, Chip Watson, we created the first recycling vehicle in Bennington County. We helped to create a truck with dividers that would go door to door and collect recyclables. It was a brand new concept that today is commonplace. When this project began, more often than not, we heard this line, "Well, what difference does it make if I recycle a glass bottle?" My reply was the same then as it is today. It may not seem like much, but if you and everyone you know and everyone they know do it, then we can make a difference. A wheel can't work without spokes. A couple of years ago, my neighbor stopped by and asked me why I felt compelled to mow my entire 2 acres. I hadn't thought much about it. I liked having a big lawn. I asked, what does that matter? My neighbor suggested that not only would I save a lot of fuel if I cut my lawn in half, but I'd be really helping out the environment. He suggested that I consider putting a pollinator garden. My wife, Allison, who was born with a green thumb, rather liked this idea. So I stopped mowing the lower acre of my yard, and we put in a pollinator garden, something I knew very little about. We started listening to people like Vermont Public's Charlie Nardozzi and other experts in the field of gardens for critters. In the fall of 2022, we cut out a bunch of sod and tilled up the dirt, and then we planted plants that were conducive and supportive of bees and butterflies and other small creatures. In a matter of a couple of years now, we have this very nice garden that is supporting insects that are seemingly quite excited about our efforts. In addition to plants that we put in like bee balm, asters, coneflowers, black-eyed Susans, we now have these mystery plants appearing. Yesterday, Allison discovered a golden zizia. We didn't plant it. We have no idea where it came from. It just showed up. We think swallowtail butterflies might like it. By now you're probably saying to yourself, yeah, this is great, Bob, but so what? You think you're making a difference? Well, yeah, I do. Why? Because I learned a long time ago that if one person does something that other people like or support, then they're likely to do it too. When I ran for office back in the 80s, I registered people to vote. Now, if I had only registered one person to vote, that might not have mattered. Well, unless, of course, I won by one vote. But I registered a lot of people to vote, and it did matter. You'll not convince me that one person can't make a difference any more than you can convince me that recycling one bottle or one can or one lonely pollinator garden doesn't make a difference. There's a reason why we've come this far as a species, and that is because one person woke up one day with an idea. He or she began promoting that idea, and over time, the world changed. Sure, there are times when it changed for the worse, like when authoritarian dictators rose to power. But then there were times when the peacemakers rose to power. Jesus comes to mind. He was only one person, and look at the impact he's had. And the same is true of musicians and poets and those who promulgate peace. Evil triumphs over good, and good triumphs over evil. Which way we decide to go always begins with one individual. It's no different than recycling one bottle or one can or starting one small garden designed for the sole purpose of supporting little creatures that most people don't even care about. No one is helpless. No one is insignificant. If others tell you that you are, ignore them. You're the one who can make the change, big or small. Try something small like mowing less and planting more, and see the reward. Then you'll realize just how powerful you truly are, and hopefully you'll do good by the world. I'm Bob Stannard, and this is The View from My Place.